Good morning. I spent my first night back in the house. And before I get started today, I have a little story time for you guys because you probably noticed that I didn't film anything after yesterday morning when I first started bringing things in the house. And that's because yesterday very quickly turned into a complete and total shit show. Oh, what else is new with this whole experience, I feel like? But the company that did the remediation and took all of my belongings and stored them and were supposed to clean them up, they were scheduled to deliver everything back to my house yesterday. And so I texted the guy yesterday morning and said, hey, let me know when you guys are coming because, I'm running back and forth to get things from the house where I've been staying. I want to make sure I'm here when you guys get here. And he texted me back and said they were loading up and getting ready to head this way. And he said, but we're only going to have one 16-foot truck of items. We're short staffed, so we're going to have to bring the rest of the stuff on Monday. And I was like, yeah, that's really not going to work because we're moving back in this weekend. We need our things. And I took Monday off work. I've got people scheduled, first of all, to help move on Saturday. And then I took Monday off work so that I'd have a full 3-day weekend after all of the stuff was brought back to get everything unpacked, put away, organized, so my house is not in total chaos anymore when I have to start work again, because I do work from home. So I need everything kind of, for the most part in its place. And that's going to be kind of hard to do if I don't have it before Monday. So whatever you guys need to do to get it delivered today was the agreement, and I need it here. I've been pretty lenient with a lot of things throughout this whole process because I don't know, I'm an understanding and empathetic person. Someone explains a situation to me, I get it, we'll work around it. But this was one of those times where I was absolutely not willing to do that. And so they had another crew, which ended up consisting of 2 guys, do the second delivery in the afternoon. And so the first delivery really didn't have much. Most of it was stuff from the basement that's basically just junk. I shouldn't say junk, but it's like furniture that I'm saving for Logan when he moves out, and then a couple of dressers that hold blankets and stuff. So it's stuff that's not important. Like, those are the things that we could live without if a delivery had to be delayed to another day. None of those items were important, except for the only thing that they delivered that really was my headboard and bed frame was in that delivery. But the second round had just a couple of furniture pieces. There were like some chairs, like dining table chairs, and I think the chair out of my bedroom, and the rest was all boxes. And if you've had much experience with moving, you know that the first thing you want to bring in the house is your furniture, so that you can bring boxes in after and kind of put it around and on the furniture in order to unpack. But the entire truck pretty much was all boxes of all of my, contents, belongings, whatever. So now we've got boxes stacked all around the house and no furniture here. And when they do bring the furniture this morning, they're going to have to work around it. So I'm trying to get stuff like unpacked and put away and moved is the best that I can for the placement of furniture that still needs to come. But the problem with the second delivery with all the boxes is that there were only 2 of them, and they were supposed to be bringing everything back in the house, putting it, like, the boxes were, for the most part, labeled with the rooms they were supposed to go in, and they were supposed to be putting them in there. And they took like 2 boxes to the basement that had books in them. And after that, they just started stacking them right inside the door in my dining room. And so then I was going and grabbing them and putting them where they belonged. Well, then they started just leaving them in the carport. And I very quickly realized that it was going to be a lot of work for me working by myself at that point because my son had left, Michael wasn't here, moving all these boxes into the house and putting them where they need to go. I wasn't supposed to have to touch anything. They were supposed to do all of this. And instead, because they decided that everything needed moved twice, they were going to leave it in the carport so it could just be moved again into the house. I ended up doing it. So I texted Michael and asked him if he could come help. He had offered whenever he knew they were about to be there to come over. And I was like, no, it shouldn't take long to unload the trailer because the last time they had sent like 4 or 5 people and it unloaded very quickly. So I texted him and was like, actually, yes, could you please come over and help? And so he came over and we started going through these boxes. We quickly realized that some of them didn't have the correct labels on them. We would open them up and there was stuff that didn't belong in those rooms in them. The basement boxes we were having to open anyway because some was my son's, who's now moved into his own apartment. And so we wanted to leave those in the carport so he can pick them up. But then other boxes were all my books that did need to actually go to the basement. So we were opening those, and we ended up just opening almost all of the boxes to see what was in them so that we could make sure they got put in the right places. A lot of stuff was mislabeled. There were some boxes that weren't labeled at all, and when we opened them up, it was just random crap thrown in from various rooms. Most of the boxes were only about halfway full, and it might be some kind of a weight requirement they have since they're an operating business. I don't know, but that created another issue because now we have twice as many boxes as necessary, taking up even more floor space. And once they got everything unloaded, they left. They were going to get another load of the furniture, and the stuff is all being stored in a warehouse that's like 30 miles south of here in a different town. So that's why it's taking them so long to get it back and forth. So about 20 minutes or so after they left, someone from their office called and said, hey, they just wanted me to let you know that they're not going to be able to bring the last load today. They're going to have to bring it in the morning. At this point, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I've got so many boxes everywhere that I need to deal with anyway before they could bring furniture in. So it's just as well. I've got my bed. Logan has his bed because he had his stored actually at Michael's house. And they actually didn't bring his mattress, but what they did bring was my old mattress that had gotten soaked through and was supposed to be discarded. So they're going to have to take that and throw it away like they were supposed to. But at least since it was here, because they brought it in that first load with my headboard and bed rails. So at least since it was here, we were able to put that on Logan's bed for the night for him to use, and then we'll get rid of it tomorrow because we don't know what it looks like inside. It could have mold, fungus, mildew, who the hell knows, right? So, but at least he had a bed to sleep in for the night so he could be home because he was looking forward to sleeping here last night too. But anyway, so the rest of that stuff is going to come this morning. I'm going to work on getting boxes unpacked, but I started last night. I kind of started in my bedroom a little bit because they had like boxes were over here where my dresser goes. My room's not very big. My house was built in 1967, so it's like a 12 by 12 room or a 12 by 11 room. And so the furniture pretty much takes up the entire space. And so to have boxes in here in the way, so I had put them on the bed to try to keep them out of the way of the dresser. Well, then I found out the dresser's not coming back. So I had to come in and clear them off the bed so that I could sleep. But I started opening them up and going through them. And I very quickly realized they were supposed to clean everything. That was part of the deal. That was part of what they were paid to do. And it looks like the only things that they actually cleaned were like the big rugs, which are still stained and have to go be replaced anyway. And like, I'm assuming my couch and chairs and stuff like that. But all of the other stuff that was on tables, on walls, it does not look like any of that actually got cleaned. Because I opened up boxes of stuff that was on my dresser and hanging on my walls, and it was covered in attic insulation. Like my hands and arms started getting itchy pulling this stuff out. And, you know, I did all the construction cleaning myself. So I cleaned all these floors multiple times to get everything cleaned out of them. And now we have drywall dust, or not drywall dust, sorry, that was construction cleanup. We have attic insulation scattered across the floors again because it's coming out of these boxes that they didn't actually clean. And like the rugs that are in Logan's room, they were rolled up and not vacuumed or anything. He pulled all of the plastic off of them and unrolled them, and they were covered in attic insulation. The rugs that were in my bathroom, like our bath mats, were covered in crap, so I've got to take those down and wash them. So they were very selective about what they actually cleaned, and it was very little from what I'm seeing. Like one of my end tables, which is going to have to be replaced because it's all scratched up from the ceiling falling on it anyway, but it was still covered in attic insulation. It hadn't been cleaned. They didn't bring the couch, but they have the feet from the couch that they brought here. It was covered in attic insulation. And so if you blown in insulation, the old paper attic insulation, it sits in there for 58 years. It's covered in dust and dirt, and it's just gross. And then it got wet because when the tree fell, it rained for like 2 days while they were trying to get it off the house. So everything got soaked. So it was soaking wet, very dirty attic insulation that stuck to all of this stuff that they were supposed to clean, and they didn't. So now, on top of, unpacking and organizing and putting things away, I was expecting to be able to put stuff away and be done with it. But now I've also got to like clean and wash everything as I go. So an entire house's worth of stuff I have to do this with. So it's definitely turning into a chaotic mess. I'm very not happy with this company. And I can't foresee them being in business for very much longer. Like they're pretty new business anyway. And they are competing with ServPro, which is a very popular and renowned business around here that does the same thing. And I really wish that's who I would have gotten. But the person who was originally supposed to oversee all of this, they really only do commercial stuff now. And he was going to do it as a favor to my boyfriend because they work closely together at work. And like their main head honcho guy basically said, we don't have time. And so he, I guess, is friends with the guy that is like chairman of the board over this company. And that's why he sent them to me. But yeah, it has not been a good experience with this company. But the silver lining is we are almost done with them. They're bringing the furniture this morning. I am very curious to see what's going to be missing because in the first load, they tried to give me a twin footboard that was not mine. They tried to give me a picture frame that was not mine. And then in the second load, they had a wooden office chair that was not mine. And I even made the comment when they asked about that, and they were like, well, do you want it anyway? I was like, no, I don't need more stuff to try to find something to do with. If anything, I'm getting rid of some things. But I made the comment, honestly, this is the second load that you guys have brought, and both loads had stuff that wasn't mine. So it makes me wonder how much of my stuff is being given to somebody else. And they didn't really have anything to say to that, but so we will see. We're still a long way from done because now we're going to have to do the contents claim. I've definitely had, like, cleaning up outside, I found a ton of stuff that was damaged, like just ruined from water and insulation and sawdust and all of the traffic of contractors in and out all the time working on things. And then of course opening these boxes and finding out what's not there, what might be broken. Furniture, like my TV stand, for example, when the ceiling fell, you can see the top corners of it where it like raked across it and scraped all the finish off. So there's definitely a couple of furniture pieces that will need replaced. So we'll go through all of that. But for now, we're just going to finish getting everything moved in. And for the rest of this vlog, I will film, moving the things from Michael's house in and going through all of the boxes and getting things put away and sorted and all of that fun stuff. So, and with that, I'm going to finish my coffee and then we're going to get to work on the kitchen. Books in a kitchen box. It's in a clear box that has a blue lid with like the little zigzaggy top that folds together.
That's not the box my other one is that's in.
Well, it looked like leather stuff that was in it.
No, it's in one of the little clear one.
Oh god, then it's probably in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
Haven't even started going through basement stuff. Kitchen and office is pretty much all I've gotten done.
Yeah.
remnants of the tree. It's for my kitchen, but I'll use it in here a lot too, I'm sure.
Want some trash?
Yeah. Anything else in there? All I need now is to figure out what